Welcome, everybody, to another episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I'm your host, Perry. With me this week is Eric.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. They call me E to the R to the I to the C. I'm the mutant man. And sitting across from me is Perry.
I don't know if it's coming through on the mic, but I am cringing so hard. There's something about weird, like, impromptu rapping that just makes me uncomfortable.
Mutant man from the fire to the pan.
Oh my gosh.
Across from me, the hottest G.
String.
Perry.
How you doing, bud?
I'm hopped up.
Yeah, does that donut finally hitting you?
Yeah, like my palms are sweaty, knees weak, mom's spaghetti. Vomit on my sweat. No, I feel great. I just ate a caffeinated donut, and I had coffee earlier, and I had a pre-workout, and I worked last night.
So you over the weekend found those donuts.
I did.
Since then, how many have you eaten?
3.
Sounds like too many.
I want to do a dozen. And see what happens.
You are creating an addiction within yourself that is going to be counterproductive to you trying to be healthy and fit and lose weight.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like, I don't know. I'm always like, man, I'm working out. Well, I'm not getting any results. And then I remember I dipped snack cakes into whiskey. I go, oh, that's why.
What's happening?
What's going on?
What's
here?
wrong? I don't get it. Well, if you are new to the show and you have not yet done so, please subscribe to the podcast and leave us a 5-star rating and review if you've not done that yet as well. It really helps us bump up in the Apple iTunes podcast chart.
I mean,
whatever the heck.
There's some kind of algorithm monster behind the scenes that's just...
Were your hands really shaking? Okay, they're not steady.
Dude, that thing, that donut like kicks in, like it like hits hard.
Yeah, I could tell.
So,
but if you're coming back, hi. Hope you're well. Hope you've been enjoying everything. You can follow us at My Bourbon Pod and at Whiskey Mutant. Mm-hmm. And you can also support the show at patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast for as little as $1 a month, for as little as $5 a month. You get bonus content, and we are going to be reworking some of the tiers over the next couple of weeks.
Live Wiggles hangouts.
That's a joke just for us. Because most of that we talked about after we stopped recording the pregame chats.
Hot potato.
Eric and I are going to start a new podcast. We've already decided.
Yeah.
It's called Dad Sing Wiggles. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll figure that out later. I feel like there's something. Oh, there is something we need to talk about up top.
Let's do it.
There's a couple of things.
2.
First of all, mark your calendars, because on May 28th,
yes.
Yeah, which is the last Saturday in May and also the weekend of Memorial Day, we are going to be doing the second ever live show of This Is My Bourbon Podcast here in Lexington.
Yes.
We're working on getting the guests together and everything, but it is 100% happening. Mm-hmm. It's going to be at the Clarion Hotel in one of their ballrooms. Going to have about 100 tickets for it. And that also falls within the weekend of our, it's our meetup weekend.
Yeah.
Basically from like Friday to Sunday, when the bulk of like what we have planned is going to happen. And you can find out more about that on Patreon. I think we are also going to open up. Didn't we talk about this, opening up like hotel rooms to people who are not on Patreon?
I think we had a few left, and we just wanted to make sure Patreon got their first dibs at it.
Yeah.
But if there was any left, I was going to put it in the Facebook group and be like, hey, 10-Bip 2022 Hangout. Here's some discounted hotel rooms. Come hang out. We're going to do some different things. And we also have a new riff barrel pick to commemorate the meetup.
That was the other thing that we were going to bring up.
There you go.
Synergy.
Yes, that is currently a sign-up sheet for pre-order on Patreon. We're doing this ourselves, so we got to front the money to New Riff, not going through anybody else. So that's why we're doing a pre-order, just so we get the majority of bottles pre-ordered. And we wanted everybody to have one.
Yeah.
So Patreon gets a few more days. By the time you're listening to this, it will probably be public because we are over halfway through the bottles. So we want to give Facebook group and anybody else a chance to grab one. And if you pre-order, we're going to randomize everybody. And if you're close and want to join the pick, the details will be in the sign up, but you may be able to join the pick with us.
Yeah, we've already got, I mean, like, of course, we're going to be doing it.
Yeah.
But we've got a couple other special guests joining. So I think we're going to round out, I think, like, max of 6 people on our picking team, which is awesome. I'm really, really excited for it. But, yeah, man, I can't wait. The first, like, only 10-bit pick.
Yeah.
It's just so cool. It's so cool.
It's just cool that New Riff does that. Like, they give...
absolutely. We don't have to go through a distributor.
Small groups, clubs, podcasts, whatever. Like, you can just... as long as they have something available, which luckily they had one, like, spot open for April that would make it to where the bottles were here for the meetup. And so we jumped in on that.
So... Meetup weekend, Memorial Day weekend. There will be like we talked about this on Patreon as well, but there will be like a premium package for the meetup as well, where there's going to be a bunch of stuff that you can participate in. Again, still working on ins and outs of a few things, but we got a really good crew of folks who are going to be a part of it. Longtime listeners, a couple new friends, people who are just kind of coming from all over to hang out and celebrate 10-bip and celebrate bourbon right in Lexington, which I think is so cool. That my home city, I get to bring people to and show them how much I love where I live, and you know, just celebrate everything that has made the podcast what it is up until this point, and what it will continue to be in the future.
And the Clarion has been awesome. They
they have been so cool.
They pretty much opened up like all these different rooms to give us choices, and like they have made it so easy to get people discounted rates and get us a place to do the live show and to do some tastings.
And let me just say too, the meetup suite is the dopest thing.
Yeah.
It is so cool. Like, we went and looked at it a few weeks ago. And we stepped into it and just went, this is perfect.
Yeah.
There was nothing else that we could have asked for in that space.
Yeah, dude,
that could have made it any better than it already was.
It's perfect for bottle shares, hanging out, and there's its own separate tasting room in it.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's awesome.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
So get in on that.
Yeah, get in on it. Links in the description, I'm sure, at least for Patreon. By the time this episode comes out, I'm sure we'll have posted it to Facebook too. But if you, I'll go ahead and throw up like the hotel information in the description of the episode as well, so you can check that out. But can't wait to see everybody. Just over 2 months. Just under 3 months, I guess.
I mean,
it's close. It's
close.
Rapidly approaching.
Yeah, every day I'm like, oh crap, it's getting closer.
I know.
We need to get some more stuff going here.
I feel that. We also need to get going. Did you say we had sips and snacks?
We have
this week?
sips and snacks, and I had so much fun doing the sips and snacks that Joseph sent. Maybe unofficially sips and snacks because he just. But I have a listener suggestion.
Interesting.
From one of the top guys listening. He's always sharing, posting, giving us, feedback. It's Darren, Mr. Darren Wright.
Hi, Darren.
Hi, Darren. So Darren has...
Darren, that hello is just for you.
Hello.
Nobody else can have that.
He sent us a sample of a Starlight single barrel, and it's Holiday 2020. And it's 107.8 proof. It's 4 years old, and he says pairs with white cake. Now, Little Debbie has a fancy cake, which is pretty much white with white filling, and it's sold out right now. Like, I have not seen it being restocked anywhere.
Did you bring zebra cakes?
I got zebra cakes. Because it's next to the fancy cakes. It's got the vanilla filling. It's got kind of the yellow white cake, and it's got the white icing with a little bit of chocolate on it. So we're going to pair this Starlight with a zebra cake.
Folks, I just want to let you all know that when Eric came on the podcast, it was an unspoken rule, because I never told him, that at some point we had to pair zebra cakes with something. And the reason behind that is these are my favorite Little Debbie snack cakes. They are simple.
Why didn't you tell me before?
Because I didn't think about it. I leave a lot of the snack stuff up to you.
True.
I mean, that's your thing.
I get it. I get it, but I want to make you happy.
I am happy.
Yeah, but it took how many episodes to get zebra cakes on
I don't freaking know. I don't care.
So anyway, Darren, thank you for the sample. Thank you for the snack suggestion. If anybody else wants to send a suggestion or a sample or a snack, let us know.
Please.
I like doing these because, I mean, I'm doing them all the time on Instagram. Perry's always, I'm sending him stuff through text. It's nice to see what everybody else wants to do. Perry's in another world right now. He didn't even wait on me. He's just, I haven't even got anything in my mouth yet.
I ate half of that thing in one bite.
Perry's
I'm
already
not
ate.
even kidding.
I will admit, I give zebra cakes hell sometimes because I feel like they're kind of just, basic. But it's basic and just, it's probably one of the most classic.
It's the same reason that I defend vanilla ice cream.
Oh, you're going to say vanilla ice.
Nah, screw that guy.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever watch Vanilla Ice Goes Amish?
Dum 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 dum.
Whereas Under Pressure goes dun 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 dun. But our song goes dun 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 dun. Stupidest interview.
No, I did not see. I've seen some of his home improvement shows though.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, I thought you said he goes Amish.
Yeah, he goes to an Amish community. And why are you pouring the, oh, never mind. He goes to an Amish community and does home improvement for them.
Oh, I've only seen ones where he just like redoes people's houses and stuff.
Oh, okay. Anyway, but it's the same reason I defend vanilla ice cream, because people always say, oh, it's vanilla, it's so bland and everything. But it's like, vanilla is a very distinct flavor.
True.
And not just that. It's a really good flavor. People build a lot of other flavors upon vanilla. I mean, think about bourbon. Vanilla is a very common flavor.
It's true.
Within the flavor profile. So we need to, hey, legalize it.
Legalize vanilla. I need that vanilla dispensary to just show up on the corner. All right.
Oh, it smells so good.
It does smell really good. I always say this. A single barrel, 4 years old. Starlight.
It's buttered toast. The toast is like a little slightly burnt and crispy.
Yeah, it smells like, it's almost like the toaster. Like you smell the toaster.
Uh-huh. It's the aromatics of like when you're actually making toast.
No, it's good. And there is some buttercream on the nose.
Oh, for sure. Darren, at least like nose-wise, you 100% nailed this pairing.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, it's way vanilla on the palate. That finish is all vanilla.
I think, and this is something that we've kind of, I think, circling around a little bit, but I think that Starlight is probably like the current distillery to watch, you know?
I think so. The few things I've had, I've not had anything bad to say about it. And it's all their own stuff, right? Yeah.
I think so.
I think it's all their own stuff. Oh man, that
Either that or it's sourced from MGP.
I think they make it all themselves. I think it's all like just around. For some reason, I think I looked it up once because I loved that rye finished in the apple brandy so much. I was like, is this something else? Because this is amazing. All right, I'm going to do a pour over. Did you just do a pour over?
I did.
You did.
I spilled.
Oh,
It just enhances everything.
that's where it's at. This is a perfect pour over cake.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
With my mouth full. Was the pour over something that you invented, or did you pick it up from anybody?
As far as I know, I never saw anybody doing a pairing and they were just straight up pouring it
Like,
over.
I didn't know if coffee, somebody was doing like a coffee pairing and they poured a little bit over, like a donut or something.
My head was I wanted to have like, when like, you ever had like a rum cake or something, or like, and you can like, you take a bite and it's like you can just, it's not like baked in there. It's almost like
Derby pie,
yeah,
or bread pudding.
bread pudding.
Yeah.
That was exactly. It's like, it's almost like they just injected like the bourbon or something right into it. So when you bit into the snack, like it's almost like you could feel the bourbon or the whiskey come out. And I was like, how else would we do that? And I was like, I just started pouring it over so it would soak in there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've not seen anybody else do it.
You're a visionary.
I guess it's
a little. There is something a little bit like humble braggy about that.
I guess.
I don't know, man. I mean, if you just want to call a spade, like just hey, hit your boy up.
I mean, I'm not gonna
I'm not gonna call it a comeback.
I'm not gonna not give you an autograph if you see me out. I'm not gonna take a bottle and just pour it over you if I see you out in public and say what's up.
Man, it's been a while, and please don't take this the wrong way, but it's been a while since I've been like recognized in public from the podcast. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the pandemic and everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was a period where like I'd go to distilleries or someplace local and somebody would recognize me.
The Pear Bear.
It was really weird. Like very, very strange.
Yeah.
Never did it ever happen for my music or anything. It was the podcast.
Because you're awesome.
You're awesome.
You're the G.
I'm the OG.
Sitting across me, the hottest G in the game.
I've had enough whiskey at this point where it's not making me cringe. Can you do some homework for me?
Of course.
Can you try pairing the Nulu maple barrel with something simple like a zebra cake?
Yeah.
Because I think that would be really, really interesting.
Okay. I'll do it.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Sweet. What have you been drinking recently, Eric?
Well, we kind of mentioned it in a second. I have a Blue Note juke joint whiskey single barrel.
Yep.
That I brought over to let Perry try.
It's really, really good.
It's really good. Like it's it was from Bourbon Finds on Instagram. On the sticker, it's got Gone in 60 sips on the back. I don't know the age.
I think most of those are like 4 to 5 years
4 to 5.
old.
It's 119 proof.
Oh, but it's, again, there's a secret behind it.
Yeah.
So it could be older. It could be like 8 to 9 years old.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't taste that old. Like, it reminds me more of like 5-year-old MGP.
Yeah.
But it's still really good.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I've had that. Have I had anything else different? I don't think there's anything new. I went back and paired Kentucky Owl Batch 10.
Oh, yeah, that's right, you did.
With Moon Pie. And it was really good. So, yeah, this Blue Note and Kentucky Owl Batch 10 were probably the two top things I've had in the last little bit, the last couple of days.
The only thing really new of note that I have picked up recently, and I was in Justin's House of Bourbon on Tuesday just because I hadn't been there in a while. But I got to try a couple of things. They had a Peerless pick that was in, and it was fantastic. But they also have this private bottling. It's called Blackwood. It's a toasted bourbon.
So this is their own label?
Yeah.
Nice.
They blended it and put it in the finished barrels and everything. It's cast strength. It was like 121 proof or something. Yeah, 121 proof. Batch 1, so there's going to be more batches of it. I'm really excited. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot. But the bottle that I walked away with was this 14-year-old Obtainiu Canadian rye at 128.6 proof. It's something. I think we actually might review it this episode along with the Green River.
I'm down.
So
Let's do it.
I think while we're doing, here's what I'm thinking.
Reviews and news.
Reviews and news. But while we are doing the news, we have the Green River poured so that we can get more familiar with it and everything and, let it out because it's an unopened bottle.
Yep.
But that way we can, gosh, it looks a lot like the Four Roses single barrel bottle, doesn't it?
That shape is, yeah.
I mean, it's a horseshoe essentially, but like it's got the same aesthetic to it. I mean, it feels kind of the same in your hand too. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we'll drink on it as we're look, a horseshoe on the bottom. Look at that. As we're talking about the news and whatnot. If that's
that sounds great
cool.
to me.
Awesome. And then towards the end, we will actually review. We will review the Green River, but once we are finished with that, we'll also review the Obtainiu Canadian Rye Whiskey because this is also batch 1.
Oh heck,
of this. So, we'll talk more about it when we get there.
Yeah, let's go.
Hand me some of that Green River.
Let me open it up here.
Oh, Green River. Ooh,
Donk.
that was nice. So we're moving on to the news, starting out with the big news drop for the day.
Ooh.
House Bill 500 has been passed, and It is a step. It's a step in the right direction, I would say, for allowing us to
Don't take my single barrels.
to hold on to single barrel picks. Essentially, what it does is that it provides a way that maintains legality for individuals or for groups or barrel programs to continue to do barrel selections. So it's actually putting in place like some laws for it and everything. But this is good. This is really good news and something that we needed to see as we were starting to get worried about it. And quite frankly, I am not as worried about it anymore because
I still can't believe it's a thing. Like, I cannot believe it's a thing.
So I found out this week, and I'm not gonna name my source. This was actually, I probably should name my source, but I'm going to protect their identity. This was actually brought up by the ABC.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And essentially what that means to me is that this was them looking at it from a legal standpoint and saying, we need to make sure everything is in place. I don't think that there was anything malignant in their actions. Like, they weren't trying to punish anybody. They were just trying to make sure that everybody's butts were covered.
Yeah. They probably got like a word from like somebody. They're like, oh, remember that one guy that went and picked a barrel and he was from a podcast and he just drank way too much that day and like he just went wild at the distillery and yeah, we probably need to put that guy on a leash.
I didn't go wild, okay? We were picking from 16 barrels, which means we tried 32 individual pours.
You know, that white dog was not what made me just black out. Okay?
was all the pores once you got back to the actual visitor center. Jeez Louise. But no, it is really easy on the surface to look at this and go, where are the bad guys? You know?
Yeah.
And I get that because it's something that is so integral in our community, that we have private barrels and we have single barrels that go out to groups, or, you know, we do them for charity or a meetup or whatever. I mean, genuinely, we would not be able to do this we would not be able to do our pick for the meetup if this did not go through.
Yeah.
Like, we would
crazy.
completely lose that. So, the good news is we don't have to worry about that. But the other good news is, you people listening, you wonderful, lovely people, don't have to. I mean, at least within Kentucky, it's fine. Things are going to be okay. There's a clause that also kind of helps. Not kind of. It helps create jobs. And as it's being said by, this is Chad McCoy, who is a representative from Bardstown. It will also generate investment without costing taxpayers a single penny. So
nice.
I'm all about that. I think that sounds great. I hate taxes. I'm still waiting on my tax return from 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finally got the state one, but if anybody has anybody in the IRS that we can get in contact with. This also, also, by the way, it's come and gone since this episode has been recorded, but happy Bottled and Bond Day, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool.
Instagram reminded me of that with all the posts.
Did they now?
Yeah. Wow. I told you this earlier. I want to be the guy that's like, you know what? I'm not going to celebrate when everybody else does. I'm going to be the guy that's like, Bottled and Bond Day, the day after.
Yeah, but what about Easter Monday? Oh, God. That's you! That's literally what you're doing.
Is it?
Yeah, you want to celebrate when nobody else is celebrating. Because you would be different.
Is Easter Monday a thing, though?
I think it actually is.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Bottled and Bond Day, 3 days later. The requel.
So this is pretty brand new news, at least to us, but Heaven Hill is launching a new ultra premium collection, and the first edition is going to feature a 17-year-old barrel-proof Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
Ooh, 17-year-old.
It's being deemed part of the Heaven Hill Heritage Collection, so clearly this is their answer to Buffalo Trace's Antique Collection, I suppose.
H-Tech.
From the HHHC.
HHC. Can't wait for that to drop this year.
Can't wait for that to catch on. Hey, have you heard the new Hick lineup's been announced?
I don't know about the Elijah Craig version this year.
From the press release, the collection, a testament to Heaven Hill's patience and ultra-aging techniques, will feature one of the 6 traditional American whiskey mash bills produced by Heaven Hill, the only heritage distillery to produce this range. The first edition features Heaven Hill's bourbon mash bill, comprised of 78% corn, 10% rye, and 12% malted barley, and bottled at a barrel proof of 118.2. With an age statement of 17 years, this release is made up of 28% 20-year-old barrels, 44% 19-year-old barrels, and 28% 17-year-old barrels pulled from Deatsville, Glencoe, Shenley, and Heaven Hill main campus warehouse locations. Attributes will vary by release as deemed worthy of bottling. Here's the thing. It's an MSRP of $275.
Wow, why not 170? Like all their other stuff.
I guess they're trying. My assumption is because they have that 20-year-old product in there, at least for this first one. But I don't know. What are they going to do past that? I mean, is it still going to be $275? Is the price going to change based on what goes into the actual final blend? I mean, I don't know.
I wonder how. Do they have? I wonder if they have any barrels of that they distinguish as Elijah Craig that are like older than the 12-year stuff that we're used to. I would love.
There's no way that they aren't putting older stock into the Elijah Craig barrel proof.
Like I know they do the whole like here's Heaven Hill or William Heaven Hill barrel proof whatever, but I want to see Elijah Craig 20-year. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean it's a thing. Remember they used to do like 18, 19, 20, like all the way up until like 23
like barrel proof.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I left out barrel proof. Okay. I want to see like Elijah Craig barrel proof 18, 20, not like the 90 proof Elijah Craig.
Right.
I want to see like once a year or something be like, this is the 17-year-old Elijah Craig barrel proof. Make it happen.
I'm down.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
You got their email.
I don't have the pull though to make that happen.
It's worth a shot.
It's true. I am sure that we are going to wind up being able to at least taste this product. I mean, if we jump on it enough, and I might have to send an email right after we get done recording, but I will. I'll make sure that we.
Yeah, I'd like to try it.
At least get to try it, at the very least. Let's move on to some releases. Not a whole lot of news this week. Not a whole lot of releases either, but we got a few TTB labels that we're going to be looking at. The Evan Williams single barrel vintage for this year, the gold edition, the gold Pegasus one, is coming out. 2014 is the vintage year. 7 years old, 117 proof. It's going to be, well, it actually looks like it might already be released.
Oh. Is that at the downtown location?
It does say that it was at the Evan Williams Bourbon Experience in Louisville, as well as select retailers.
Oh.
So this is a special bottle, as it always is. But this year, particularly special because it's celebrating the 67th Kentucky Derby Festival and the 50th year of Pegasus Pen, which grants the holder access to 30 different Derby Day-related events. The whiskey was bottled at 117 proof, which is the sum of 67 and 50. To commemorate the occasion, and it's dipped in gold wax.
Why didn't they just put it in there that what it came out as?
Stupid. I don't know.
I don't need those numbers to match up.
I mean, I don't either, but I mean, it is kind of cool.
It's a gimmick.
It's not the worst thing in the world. Catoctin Creek is also putting out a new rye. It's called Rabble Rouser, and it's bottled in bond. What?
Say that name again.
Rabble Rouser.
Rabble Rouser.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know the origin, but it's definitely not.
But listen, that sounds like a cartoon character. The Adventures of Rabble Rouser.
Rabble Rouser, a person who speaks with the intention of inflaming the emotions of a crowd of people, typically for political reasons. So there you go.
That's just funny.
4 years old, bottled in bond, $99.
What's the proof? 100? If it's bottled in bond?
Yeah, it's 100. It's bottled in bond.
Yeah, but sometimes.
Straight rye. Sometimes what? It's going to be 100 proof no matter what.
True.
It's bottled in bond day, Eric.
Yeah, I know. I don't celebrate till 3 days later. I feel like this is not the first time that I've been like, what's the proof on a bottle of bond?
No, that's not the first time that anybody on this podcast has said that.
It's always, I'm thinking of like, there's something like,
oh, I know,
like a different proof point or something like that. Like, I feel like there was something bottled in bond that's higher than 100 proof.
There will never be and never has been.
I feel like there has been.
I
know. It's the caffeine.
But there was an episode where Chad asked the exact same question. And, like, I didn't know how to respond at first. I was like, it's bottled in bond, dude. But anyway, it is 100% rye. So, I mean,
100% rye, bottled in bond, 100 proof.
$100. I don't know. That seems a little bit much.
Sample?
We'll see. We'll find out. Anyway. TTB labels. TTB labels this week. The first one's from Nulu. It's a toasted bourbon finished in apple brandy barrels. Non-chill filtered. No word on the proof just yet. Because those usually are based on the single barrels.
I'm going to go there and ask, can I have that bottle? See what happens again.
Try to put some in a water bottle.
In a water bottle?
Yeah.
See if I can get some out.
Back to the label. It's an experimental finish, by the way. Barrels of straight bourbon whiskey are put into various wine, brandy, and cognac barrels for months at a time. We taste them diligently to ensure the finish is heavily present throughout the nose, palate, and finish.
Man, I bet that's going to be good.
I'm pretty excited.
I'm going to try to find that one.
New England Barrel Company. I have never heard of New England Barrel Company before. New England. They have a stouted bourbon. Apparently. 110 proof. Straight bourbon whiskey finished in stout barrels, aged 3 years, 11 months, 14 days, and then finished for 3.5 months. That's very specific. Bottled at cask strength and non-chill filtered. And apparently this is release 1 for 2022. So, I don't know. I've only had one stout finished bourbon before from Goodwood.
Oh, I think I have that.
And it was okay.
Yeah, the honey ale barrel finished Goodwood is way better. It real good. Was I supposed to be drinking this? I was one of them. Wow. I mean, give me a second, but that kind of hit me with some flavor right there. And this is the Green River that we're talking about.
Twizzlers.
Oh. Yeah, because it's not like licorice. It's like...
It's licorice candy.
Twizzler, though, is like straight up like its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the difference. Like the nose, it smells like a younger age bourbon to me. Like there's...
It does, but it's also got this like strawberry and cherry note.
See, I get that more on the palate. Like,
do you?
Yeah. Like the nose, I'm getting just that straight. Like, hey, this smells decent. Like I'm not mad at it. It may be a little younger, but on the palate, yeah, dude, it's a lot of cherry candy. What's the proof on this?
90.
It's got a little bit more of a kick than 90 proof. I'm mad at that.
I like it.
And
it's the best thing I've had from their company. I mean, OZ Tyler was a non-starter, so...
I don't want to talk about that.
Hey, their rye was pretty good.
This, though...
This is like the best comeback story in whiskey right now.
I like this.
Or bourbon, at the very least. Interesting. All right, we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Dancing Goat has a bourbon coming out called Banger Bourbon. Excuse me.
Wait a second. Say that again.
9-banger.
9-banger.
Yeah. Because it's got 9 mash bills in it.
Oh, it's like a...
Temper yourself here.
No, I was actually thinking when people would call like 4 cylinders or 6 cylinders, they say, he's driving a little 4-banger around here. Got a little 9-banger.
That actually probably is exactly where they're taking
got a
that
9-cylinder bourbon going on here.
86 proof.
What? You cannot have a 9-banger and have it 86 proof.
Does this change your mind? It's 5 to 7 years old.
A 9-banger that's 5 to 7 years old and under 90 proof.
I'm willing to try it.
Isn't that one of Bill's places?
Dancing Goat? Yeah, it is in Cambridge, Washington, or Wisconsin, excuse me.
There you go. He can get us some.
Hamer also has a new bourbon coming out. It's a straight bourbon finished in cherry brandy barrels at 103 proof.
Cherry brandy?
Yeah. Not a whole lot of information on this one, but it is bottled in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is where Swan is.
Swanee.
I miss Swan.
I want a something finished in Cheerwine soda casks. Not good times.
Vats.
Vats. Yes. I want like a legit place to do it.
We're also seeing a label from the Bardstown Bourbon Company. It is a blend of straight whiskeys, finished in Sauternes barrels and toasted oak barrels. Excuse me.
What is Sauterne?
It is a type of wine.
Another wine. Okay.
Yeah, and it's from. It looks like it says Chateau. Whatever.
Like the one they had
Dane.
before. Oh, a different one.
Yeah, different one.
Chateau La Bidibba.
Yeah, yeah. You did a great job.
Thanks.
Both times that you've tried to say that.
Yeah.
But it's another part of their collaborative series. So it looks like they actually worked hand in hand with the particular chateau. Cool. It's a blend of 10-year Kentucky bourbon and 6-year Indiana rye, finished in the barrels for 7 months. The Sauternes barrels, rather, for 7 months, and then finished again in new toasted oak for 4 weeks.
Oh, so it's like a boo rye?
Yeah.
Finished boo rye.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. It's like a High West thing.
Eric, the time has come for us to finally see the first release.
Oh, is this that stag guy? That one that we had last week?
No.
Walker, Kentucky Walker.
Kentucky Walker, which I still really want to try.
I got to try it.
No, this is the first bourbon release from Castle and Key Distillery. Now, let's talk about this one a little bit because there's some things going on. Initially, we thought that their first bourbon was going to be bottled in bond in honor of Colonel Taylor.
Right.
And this is not. This is a 4-year-old small batch and 98 proof.
What? I'm not going to act like I know anything about like blending or making whiskey, but what? I mean, 98 proof? Like, why? Why not just kick it up to 100? Is there a reasoning behind that? Is it because it may turn people off, be like, oh, 100 proof, that's too much? No? I don't know.
No, I think more than anything, and I'm trying to be objective about this.
They hate bottled and bond day.
No.
Oh.
That's not it.
Okay.
I'm trying to be objective about this. Whoever is tasting it, whoever is in quality control, is saying that at 98 proof, it tastes better than it does at 100.
How the hell? I mean, if we've set the same bourbon.
Remember what I told you last week?
Yeah.
If you get heated.
Little kids, shut your ears. What the fuck, man? Like,
no, I agree.
Like,
I agree.
98 proof beside 100 proof. Maybe like my palate I know is not a refined machine that's just pumping out like crazy notes. But still, like, I feel like if I put a 98 proof whiskey and the same whiskey at 100 proof beside each other, there's not going to be much difference.
Well,
or the one with 100 is probably going to be better. I don't know. I feel like I just don't get 98 proof. 98 proof. It's not like a single barrel that you just pulled out and it's like, oh, it just happens to be 98 proof. That would be cool. I don't know.
I agree with you on the single barrel thing. I am willing to withhold judgment until we try it. However, their rye has not been impressive. And usually, if a rye comes out before a bourbon at a distillery, it's a pretty good indication. And if it's good, it's a pretty good indication that their bourbon is going to be at least okay.
Right.
And unfortunately, their rye was just okay. So I don't have high hopes for their bourbon. Now, if and when, because I know that they are going to, they start doing single barrels, that could be the game changer. But the small batch at 98 proof.
And it's already 4 years, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, why not be like, it's already 4 years?
But here's the other thing. And this is, I think, what you're kind of getting at. But this is a slap in the face to Marianne. I'm just gonna say it, because the initial vision was to have a product that honored E.H. Taylor and to have a product that came out of the same distillery that he built from the ground up as a man who helped save bourbon with the Bottled and Bond Act. And they are literally shortchanging them by 2 proof points. And it's not, I mean, in some ways it is dishonoring his legacy. But, like, is there that much bad blood between Castle and Key and Marianne now that we have this kind of issue?
I don't know.
I mean, surely they would have seen this and gone, we have to stick to our guns.
Well, my thing is, like,
look at the place that's around us.
Right.
Look where we are.
Right.
How do we not take this in and celebrate everything that we have built upon the backs of the people that left this distillery the way that it was? Castle and Key doesn't exist without Bottled and Bond whiskey.
Sure. But even if you don't look at it that way, there has to be somebody in marketing who could care less about heritage, who's like, you know what? If it says Bottled and Bond and 100 proof on the label, a lot of these people like to buy that. Like, even if you're not thinking about heritage, like, wouldn't you be like, hey, we want our first bourbon to say Bottled and Bond, 100 proof, Kentucky straight bourbon, whatever you put on the label. Like, that would sell the bottle to me, even if I didn't know anything about it.
Right.
Like, I get your point because I think you're exactly right. Like, come on, like, we're in Kentucky.
Be aware. Be self-aware of what you're doing.
This is a famous, legendary place. This is your first bourbon. Why not do that? And then, if you're just looking to sell bottles, I'm way more into Bottled and Bond than I am a 98 proof small batch that's sitting there. So either way, like, they just missed the mark on all this to me. Like I said before, I don't know the ins and outs and what happens and all that, but I feel like a Bottled and Bond bourbon as your first release coming out of a legendary distillery sounds pretty good.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, you're running your mash through the same pipes that Taylor built. You're distilling in the same place that Taylor distilled. I mean, like, even just thinking about the fact that there could be like little remnants of what Taylor made. Just Taylor made. But you know what I mean? Like, but just like that it could even be slightly touched.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much that they could do that would build upon it. And it's just like, what are you think? They don't even mention. Oh, wait. Yes, they do mention Taylor. But it's just the old Taylor distillery. Like, they're not even talking about Colonel Taylor and what he meant to the industry and what he meant, I mean, essentially meant to this distillery. I don't know. I think I'm going around in circles at this point. But I am disappointed that this is the first bourbon that we get from them under the Castle and Key brand. Right. I think the label is gorgeous. I mean, if I'm taking anything away from it, this is going to stand out on shelves.
No, it looks cool.
It's going to be awesome, but I just don't know what else to say.
It's just one of those things where it's like, you feel like these people should have like a their finger on the pulse of like what
that's
exactly
like what I'm saying.
You know, and it's just like they don't. Like, it's like, oh well, you know, we're just going to do whatever. But I don't know. I just feel I've not been impressed with anything they've done.
No. Got my blood pumping.
Damn.
I haven't had a good rant in a while on the podcast, so I was due for one.
Well, shit.
Is that how you said it?
Is that how you say it? Well, shit. No, but we don't have to talk about it anymore. But it's just, I just don't feel like they're doing themselves any favors.
No, I don't either. Let's move on to a couple of reviews, shall we? Starting out with the new Green River Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, of course, built on the backs of the OZ Tyler Distillery and basically reviving a brand that has been extinct for a while. But it was initially founded in 1885. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was initially lost to Prohibition. But it is made in Owensboro, Kentucky, which is about as far west as you can get in Kentucky while still being in Kentucky.
Oh, Western Kentucky.
90 proof, straight bourbon. This tastes like it's got to be 4 years old.
It has to be.
I mean, it doesn't taste two. It doesn't taste. I would imagine that it's like 4 to 6 year old product.
Yeah.
In there, which is good. I mean, maybe initially they were like, "Oh, we're gonna call ourselves OZ Tyler, and we're gonna put out this particular product, and then in a few years we're gonna change it over, and we're gonna have a real good product come out." But no,
No.
that's not what happened. They knew they needed a rebrand, and they did it very, very well.
They straight up, they did not like go to like the bottle company and be like, you know what, we're going to
What you got? What you got?
No, they're like straight up. Four Roses got a cool bottle. We're going to do it different. We're going to put a horseshoe on the bottom of it. We're going to put branding all throughout it. I mean, it's crazy,
Dude, presentation alone, like a 10 out of 10.
like setting on your shelf and stuff. Like that looks good.
Yeah.
It's got a little tack strip at the top of the cork. I mean, it's cool.
I really, really like the bottle. Only reason I didn't get it, I saw it in stores the other day. Only reason I didn't get it was because I was in a place that had a Knob Creek pick.
I got it at Ernie's, and they had some put out, and I was just like, "What's the price on that?"
It was like 30, right?
Yeah, it was like 30, 32 or something like that.
I don't mind
that
at all.
No, it's solid to me. Just giving it like a one word review. It's solid.
It is. This falls under the category of like very affordable, very approachable daily drinkers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would put this right on my shelf with like my, your Buffalo Trace, just regular 90 proof, 90 proof knob. Is Knob Creek 90 proof?
No,
100 proof. Sorry.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, like Jim Beam Black. Like that's kind of like my like in the kitchen. Like here's just regular stuff I'm going to grab if I'm not grabbing anything else. Yeah.
I like it.
Like I said, it's just classic. You snapped your fingers. You thought of something.
I did. I've got something I want to try with you.
Okay. You know, I ain't gonna say no.
We'll do it once we get to tips and bits.
All right.
Because I feel like it might ruin our palate a little bit.
I got you.
But I got it specifically because I wanted to share it with you.
Oh. That makes me happy. Yeah, on the nose. I mean, I think it's just a classic, just straight up, it's a bourbon whiskey.
When was the last time that you had a new product that ticked off all those boxes? Where it was just
product?
Yeah, where it was just like, oh, this is bourbon. Like it's not that it like everything has to be, strictly by the books, right, or it has to follow particular guidelines, but like this is bourbon.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's what it is. And that's not just, I don't know. I think we get so hung up sometimes on like trying to like pick out all these notes that it's nice to just have like, hey, this is a bourbon. That's good.
Yeah.
If this was like a big premium product or something, then I think I would be more judgmental. But this is a $32 bottle of whiskey.
Like I drink this and I think I could have this in just about any situation. Mm-hmm. Beginning of the night, out at a bar.
Old fashioned.
Winding up. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Wrapping up the night. Just like it feels so flexible and malleable to any situation. And I
agree.
I have not been this impressed with just a very solid daily drinker in a long time. So I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say before we actually get to the breaking down of the scores, if you see this, pick it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that this is going to disappoint anybody who is a bourbon aficionado or a bourbon lover or drinker or whatever. I mean, this has kind of got everything, something for everybody.
Yeah. I agree. I think you pick it up and you just enjoy it. Don't you could throw this in a rocks glass, throw this in a whatever, and just enjoy it.
I mean, I am 100% getting a bottle of this. And I have not gone into a store with the intention of buying a 90 proof bourbon in a long time. A really, really long time. But this just convinces me that there's everything about bourbon that makes bourbon good within this product. I'm going to work backwards from this. So our scoring system is nose, palate, finish, and price. Each category is out of 5. Final score is out of 20. I'm going to start with the price. As a good everyday sipper, truly a solid proof. There are some products that you can kind of get at this proof point, probably around this age, that are similar in quality, maybe just slightly below, slightly above. I'm going to give it a 4.5. I think it's a really, really good value just based on what's within the bottle. It's not the thing that is blowing me away about it is just how solid it is. It's not that it's, blowing me up or that's out of this world, or there's these things that I'd never get in any other bourbon. But everything about it is really even keel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. No, I totally
it's very consistent. There's nothing where I'm well, it could be this if it was changed slightly. It's just from start to finish, it's just a very enjoyable, consistent bourbon. And I mean, I'm comfortable just going across the board, 3s on the nose, palate, and finish.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the most what's the one score that's meat? It's right in the middle. It's just everything.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. I would say on the price, if this was $28, and I know that that's only $4, but there's, your brain, when you see something
I know.
that's sub 30, you're like, holy, oh my gosh, this is a sub 30 bottle, $30 bottle. But that's me once again being very picky. But it's just I'm just going to go across the whole board. It's it's in the middle or slightly above the middle.
That's why I went with 3s on nose, palate, and finish.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'll agree.
And I mean, the price, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I mean, that rounds us out at a 13.5.
Yeah.
So I can't, I don't know. I feel like I can't say enough good things about what this is. It's.
I'm very happy with this purchase.
I can see myself buying this on multiple occasions. I can also see myself if I am looking as a consumer for a replacement of something like Buffalo Trace.
That's hard to get around here now.
I think this is the first product that I have had where I am comfortable saying this can take the place of another 90 proof everyday drinker.
Yep, I agree.
I want to do this in a blind with Buffalo Trace and Turkey 101
Just like
and
that daily drinker blind.
Yeah. I really want to do that, but just on the outset, I can't recommend grabbing one of these enough.
Is this Kentucky only, or is this got a few states? I don't know. I know we'd have to look it up, but I'm curious. I would love for people listening who are not here in Kentucky to be able to grab this It's almost just as fun to find something like this as it is to like get that like really premium product and be like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like 2 weeks later, Green River Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey 90 proof blows up. You can't find it anywhere.
So currently, Green River is only available in Kentucky.
Okay.
They say with eventual distribution to Florida, Indiana, Missouri, and Tennessee.
I'd say if you're visiting Kentucky, grab a bottle. Definitely. Or wait till they start shipping to other places.
Mash bill. Oh, it's pretty high rye. 70% corn, 21% winter rye, and 9% malted 2 and 6 row barley. I don't know what that means, but that's okay.
I'm down for it.
Dang it, man. I almost don't want to review the Obtainium just because, like, that's such a positive review with like little to no caveats that we've.
I mean, I think it's fun
to
review just for fun.
What, like, you want to do the Obtainium too?
Yeah. Unless you want to save it for something.
Nah, let's do it. All right, so we're doing 2 reviews today then. As mentioned earlier, this is Obtainium Canadian Rye Whiskey, 128.6 proof, 14 years old. Do you want me to tell you the price now or wait?
Wait, I want to wait.
Okay.
I want to see. I always like being like, what would I pay for this? Versus
You did
what?
that last week too with the
Yeah,
seagrass, so
And I was like, if
I
this
want
was
that.
a little
I
cheaper,
want that
I would-
seagrass, man. I just want it. I know where it is.
All right.
I don't know where the money for it is, though.
I just set the glass down and just looked around because that smells really good.
I will say this is the first. No, that's not true because I've had whistle pigs that I've really liked. But this is one of the first like memorable Canadian ryes that I have
smells
just been
so good.
I know.
So the Seagrass was a 16-year-old Canadian rye, right?
Yes.
But it was finished and all that stuff. And this is
So and it's not apples to apples,
right.
but like if you are looking at an unfinished version of Barrel Seagrass 16, like, I mean, you can tell that this has like the same DNA to it.
And that goes back to what I said last week about that Seagrass it's phenomenal, but I don't think I would just grab it whenever I could because it was so tropical. I'd want to be in the mood for it. This makes me want to. This doesn't have that tropical nose. It has that. This is a rye, and it's good, and you should keep pouring it. Nose. I mean, it's like. If I was gonna put a snack or a candy on this, it would be almost like a almost like a Kit Kat, but it's a rye.
Absolutely.
It's like wafers and like chocolate, but it's got some rye spice on it.
Wait until you taste it. Because that's exactly, that is 100% what's going on with the palate.
That wafer in the middle that's just like, you just know that it's a wafer crunch.
That's what I was about to say. I even have that feeling of like, I like the crunch with it.
Yeah.
It's such a weird, like viscous, ethereal mouthfeel to it.
You're drinking a whiskey, but your mind is thinking like that's a
I just had a
crunchy
candy.
wafer.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Can I have a little bit more of that?
Absolutely. I'm telling you. This is not my
They
my
have more
last,
or less of this?
Yes.
Oh.
This is not my last bottle that I'm getting of this.
Can I be 100% transparent?
Please.
I want to pause.
Is this need to get cut out?
It may be Patreon only. I don't
fine.
know.
Yeah, I'll cut it out.
Whatever you think.
I'll cut it out just for your
But
sake.
you got this at Justin's House of Bourbon,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Until recently, I was very anti Justin's House of Bourbon. Because, I mean, most people that listen and know the place, they know what they sell. I mean, it's almost like a secondary market in a building.
Yeah, but they have like a shelf of
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Regular stuff, and they have new stuff that
Right.
is sitting there
But
too.
as an experience I had when it first kind of opened and I was trying to find stuff, I felt very I don't know. I was made to feel very awkward because I walked in there.
I get it.
I walked in there. I heard that we have a shop in Lexington that has these bottles I can't get.
There's no reason for me to cut this out, by the way.
Yeah. But I walked in there, me being fresh, new, like now I'm kind of getting into bourbon, and I see like a Weller 12 sitting there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I would love to buy that. And they told me the price. And I was kind of like, oh, like being not knowing secondary prices and stuff at the time. I'd seen it at Liquor Barn before in the past. I thought it was just they had it. And they're like, no, like this is the price now. And I was like, I didn't really understand. And like, I kind of felt like I was made to feel a little ignorant about it. And so it gave me a bad impression about it. But as I've kind of grown and got more into things and understood things, I don't have that bad feeling anymore. But it took me a while to get over that feeling of me wanting to go there and grab a bottle.
No, I totally get that. And it's
But it may have been just that person that was working. I don't remember who they were. I don't think it wasn't either of sorry, I forget their names. Two of the main guys that started it. I don't think either one of them were there.
Justin.
Bourbon Reviews.
And Justin.
But both of them are Justin?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
It's Justin S apostrophe, like multiple Justins.
I thought that was just the name, Justin's House Bourbon.
Two Justins.
Learn something new every day. The more you know. Either way, I've seen those guys. I know that it wasn't them, but whoever was working there was kind of like, I don't think you understand how things work. And I was like, okay, sorry, I don't really know.
No.
But as times went by, I kind of forgot about that. And I would sacrifice my feelings to get this Obtainiu. Because it's really good. That's how good it is.
What would you pay for it?
$120. I feel like this is like at least $100 bottle of rye. Like I would pay that. And I would pay a little bit more. I would pay $120 for this.
$70.
Give me two. What? $70? Are you shitting with me right now?
No, I'm not. It was like with tax, like 75.
I would buy two of these right now.
I mean, like, I have to go pick up my daughter from daycare here in a little bit. I might stop by there just to grab another one.
Tomorrow, like, I don't have to work tomorrow night, and I get me a little sleep in and stuff after work. I will be running down there to buy at least one bottle of this. For $70, that's crazy.
A 14-year-old whiskey.
I mean, it's a no-brainer.
I mean, like, this is such a good value.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And it's good product too. I mean, if
I would
it was
not feel
like,
bad about crushing that either at $70. Yeah.
I mean, we're almost halfway through this bottle, and so but if the product inside were like bitter or really oaky or anything, that would be an issue. But I think where this really shines is the fact that it is more than likely a rye whiskey that is barreled in used oak.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about like, what we were talking about earlier, well, it was on the pregame chats actually, with if you don't have a solid foundation with your mash bill with your white dog, no amount of time in a barrel is going to fix that. I think this is a really good indication of how great a mash bill can be, and how even with used oak, it can still be highlighted exceptionally.
Yeah.
There is nothing about this that I have a problem with.
No, I don't have anything bad to say about this.
And I don't know,
Is it the greatest rye whiskey ever? I mean, it's crushable. I can't give a crushable
perfect score.
A perfect score.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like I said, I want to sit with it. I want to be like, this is crushable, man.
This
is dangerous.
That's 2 weeks in a row that we've had crushable rye whiskeys. One at a premium price point.
One I will buy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like the price is just a 5 for me.
5. That's the perfect part of it.
Yeah,
is the price.
I don't think that it's as consistent as the Green River. I do think it kind of ebbs and flows a little bit. The nose is probably the best part of it.
I love the nose.
Close to like I'm going to say 4 for the nose.
For me, yeah, I'll agree. I think it's a 4. I could smell it all day. I could drink it all day, but like the smell is what I spend the most time on, if that makes sense. So that's why I would give it a 4. I spend the most time on the nose.
I'm jumping over the palate because I haven't quite figured out how I want to approach it just yet. The finish is it's one of the longest finishes I've had on a whiskey in a really long time, and one that I just feel like encourages me to go back and have more tastes of. And there is just like this little hint of like astringency in it, like just kind of throughout that I don't love. But it's such an easy drinker. And I mean, honestly, if you're not really looking for imperfections, you're not going to think about it. I mean, it's just very, very solid.
This would hold up in a blind of ryes, and I think it would dominate some of the some ryes that we like.
And we haven't even talked about the proof. This doesn't drink like 128.6 proof.
No, that's the crushable thing. Yeah. It's like
I could get in a lot of trouble with this bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, it's like no, I'm just drinking a 100 proof rye right now. Like no big deal. Oh, actually, it's 128, almost 130.
Oh, and it's 14 years old.
14 years old,
but $70 though.
That's the thing, dude. That's an amazing price. I honestly thought you were going to say it's more than the 120.
I know. I wouldn't have picked it up if it had been more than that. I want to find the light whiskey.
Oh yeah.
I really want to own a bottle of the light whiskey.
Yeah.
I really want to. Do they have bourbon?
I think they may, but most of the stuff I've seen that's hazmat is usually that light whiskey. Like,
yeah. I would 100%, even if it's at like $85.
I guarantee we could get a sample of the one that.
I don't want a sample. I want a bottle.
Well, okay, now we're on the same wavelength. No. Yeah, I want a bottle too. But they, Mash and Journey and the Shelf Turds, whiskey.com or whatever.
Whiskeychannel.com.
Whiskeychannel.com. Yeah. They did that one. They tatered that thing out. They put sprinkles and everything on it. But I believe we could definitely find at least a sample. But I would love one of the hazmat light whiskeys.
I agree. I kind of danced around it. Like I said, the finish is just so inviting. It makes me want to keep going back to it. I wish that it were just a little bit more, a little bit deeper, a little bit more well-rounded. Yeah. But it's not so much to its detriment. I'm going to give it a 3.5. Here's the problem with the palate. It's just so easy to drink. But I love it. Like I'm not spending any time with it going.
It's almost like you have to do like a different like grading system.
I know, right?
It's like you got the premium system and you got the crushable system.
Yeah. But trying to maintain like consistency throughout. I mean, I think the palate and the finish work very much in tandem with each other to make me want to go back and drink more of it. It's still a 3.5 for me. So overall, I mean, that's a 16 out of 20 for me.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's a good review for this whiskey.
Price, 5. Going backwards. Finish, 3. Palate, 3.5. Nose, 4.
I missed your number, so I didn't do the math. I'm sorry.
No. All right. Price, 5. Then the finish, I said a 3. Then the palate, I think I said a 3.5. And then nose, I said a 4. Is that what I said? Heck, if I know. My score is 15.5.
So I mean, we're basically the same at this point. But
I buy this all day.
The fact that this is batch 1 too, there's a good chance that I will buy 2 more of these. 1 more to drink and 1 to keep. Because it's the introduction of this product.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's good.
It's so good.
It's good.
It's so good. I was expecting it to be like okay.
Yeah.
You know? Like I thought it would be fine for what it is, but
I thought you were going to say it's way overpriced.
I'm really happy it isn't.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, genuinely very happy that it isn't. But it's awesome. All right. I'm going to go grab what I wanted us to drink.
Okay. What? This is not whiskey. This has to be a beer.
This is a beer.
Oh, it smells so good.
This is right up your alley, dude.
Dude, you know exactly what kind of beer I like.
So on Saturday, I had a tour, and for lunch, they had booked Goodwood in Frankfurt. And I don't drink on tours because I'm supposed to be driving people.
Right. You're a responsible adult.
Exactly. And so I said, I want to take a crowler of something home. And there were a couple that caught my eye.
Dude, that bottle is awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Can or whatever you want to call it.
They did let me try a couple of things, but I mean, it was like
just a little sample.
2 ounces of beer is not going to do anything to me.
It smells so good.
There were a few that stood out. One was their hazy IPA. I love hazies.
Yeah.
I tried it. It was good, but I wasn't like, I have to have this. Like it was pretty on par with other hazies. They gave me, without me asking, a sample of their highest ABV beer, which was a Belgian quadruple. And it was like 12%, 12.5% ABV. And I mean, I'm pretty sure it was finished in bourbon barrels. Mostly because it just smelled like bourbon.
Yeah.
And it drank like bourbon too. I mean, it was incredible. And this was the one where I felt like it was different enough for me to want to pick up, a crowler of it. It was only like $10 for this.
For that?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot.
It's a craft beer.
It's a lot of beer for a little price.
Yeah. It is an IPA.
Okay. Is it like one of those like grapefruit IPA things?
Close.
Okay. It just has that color. Like
I know. But they called it an IPA smoothie.
Oh, it's like creamsicle. It smells so good. Like, and a lot of times beer just smells like beer, but like seriously, if you get into like smoothies and sours,
dude,
you get some good noses.
So easy to drink though.
Oh man, it's like fruit punch.
So it's called the Higo Chumbo.
Say that again now.
Higo Chumbo.
Higo Chumbo. I like it.
7% ABV. It is a prickly pear beer.
Pear. Okay.
Prickly pear.
I was like, there is some kind of like light fruit that's coming through that I don't know what it is. Pear.
So when Lucy and I, with her family, went out to Sedona, Arizona, one of their like mainstays with cocktails is a prickly pear margarita. And it's just perfect. And so, like, that's part of that's another reason why I got this, because I was like, oh, Lucy doesn't really like IPAs, but she might like, the fact that it's prickly pear and everything.
Right.
But it doesn't drink like an IPA.
No, I would never, like, when you think of IPA,
it's bitter,
there's that
it's hoppy,
distinctive hoppy bitterness that like is just on all of them. No, this does not drink like an IPA. I mean, can we just call this is my crushable episode?
It feels like
I could just down this easy.
I've still got like half of the crowler left.
Gosh, keep that, man.
Maybe
keep that for like a sitting on the back porch one day when it gets a little bit warmer.
I could have done it last night.
God, weather right now?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's so nice. We went to, I guess we're going to segue very quickly into Tips and Bits.
Yeah, let's do it.
Where we recommend things to people, even though they might not be always whiskey related. But we went to Windy Corner,
I love that
which
place.
is just on the outskirts of Lexington, but it's literally like 10 minutes from our house. And so it was founded by, and I guess still owned by Weta Michael, who is a James Beard award-winning chef. She's been on like as a guest judge, Top Chef, just incredible. But it's one of her restaurants. Wallace Station is another one. Thirsty Fox downtown, but that's the bar. That's not the restaurant. Zim's is the restaurant that's downtown. But she's just wonderful and does amazing work. But Lucy and I went there last night for dinner, and I got a bacon jam pimento cheeseburger. I had a bourbon barrel ale with it, and it just it was just that perfect moment of like, Eden was in a really good mood, and she wasn't running around being chaotic or anything. And she just sat there and like drank her water and, talked to us and everything. And we were able to enjoy ourselves. And it was so nice. But
you can sit outside there and just like enjoy like just the air and like the area. It's such a nice place if you're in Lexington.
Yeah, for sure. That's a loose tips and bits, but I've got a couple things I'll talk about in a second. Do you have anything you want to recommend to people?
One thing I was thinking about, so anybody listening in the past couple of weeks at least knows that I have kids who play sports, and I'm usually traveling for these travel sports.
Yep.
And this past weekend, it was just me and my daughter. She's 13 and she has a phone and AirPods. So basically, we get in the car, we maybe talk about like the game or something. Then she's like, all right, I'm going to listen to my music or, talk to my friends. And so then I can just put on whatever I want. And my only recommendation this week is rediscover some music that you haven't listened to in a while. I had not listened to Blink-182, Enema of the State, in years. And I used to listen to it all the time, like skateboarding or just hanging out with friends, putting it on the background while we played PlayStation or something like that. It's a solid album. Like, I love it so much. Like, I was singing all the words, like making sure she was still had her headphones
occupied.
in. Yeah. And it just made me feel happy. It made me remember like times that I had with my friends and all that. So my recommendation this week is go back, get on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you use, and just look up an album or a single or anything that you remember just playing on repeat as in like your younger years. And if you're in a place that you can just sit and enjoy it, not worry about anything, it's kind of like bourbon or whiskey. Like it has that effect that it kind of just takes you back into a time or something like that. And listen to Blink-182. It was just fun. It made my couple-hour drive fun, and I remembered stuff, and
there was no kid trying to pee into a Chick-fil-A cup.
This trip was just me and the actual mature kid that I have who likes to listen to her own stuff, and we have good trips that way. We have fun. She does her thing, I do mine, and then we hang out. We go to eat, and I don't know, like it's just fun. Like having a 13-year-old is such a roller coaster, especially.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, she's at that age where there's boys involved and stuff. But then it's fun when it's just us and we're on trips and we can kind of just connect and talk about things. And then when it gets back to the real world, I'm pissed again about the boys that are trying to text her or something like that.
I think I'm very fortunate to have like you around, as I am also a dad of who eventually will be a teenage girl, and she's gonna be my oldest child and everything, but I don't know. I'm very present with my daughter.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not to say that, other dads aren't, but I've always been of the mindset that my kid is my kid. Like, it's not me going, oh, it's my boy, so I'm going to give him more attention than I would my girl. It's just, I am there for I'm there.
Yeah. That's how it is.
And I think that's, a lot of what you should do, but there has been for so long this stigma that girls are raised by moms and boys are raised by dads. And I just don't think that that's how it should be anymore. No. And so, like, I think I brought this up very recently, but like career-wise for me, it's been pretty rough recently. Like, I haven't had a steady income. I haven't been able to clock in and clock out or whatever, and have a paycheck that at the end of the week I can rely on. But through all of that, I have been able to, even though she's a toddler, and it's very important to establish these relationships. I've just been able to, like, in some ways, be her best friend.
Yeah,
like I recognize it more and more as, like, Lucy spends time away from her. Like, and it's so weird, and I'm probably getting way too into this, but, like, I think she views Lucy as, like, the provider.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's the one that,
you're the friend.
Exactly.
That's kind of mine and Addison's relationship. Like, she respects both me and April as parents, but there's a lot of times when something's going on and don't tell April, but
she goes to you more than she does
April may be in a bad mood. She may, like, just something crazy is going on. April's just raging, doing that mom rage, and me and Addison look at each other and it's like, oh, we need to get out of here or something like that. And, like, there's like with the sports stuff, and, like, even Addison, she won't never admit it, but she's like a little secret nerd in her own. Like, she used to read comic books with me, and, like, we just have this, like, special thing. Like, we're, there's nothing all about, like you just said, like, moms raise the girls. That I have boys and I have Addison, like, and me and Addison do just as many things as me and the boys do.
Yeah.
Like, we have our own little thing, and, like, it's just fun. Like, and she's the oldest, and she's always going to just be chill, and she's going to like the things I do, and she's always willing to like, Dad, you want to go do this or do that? Like while we're on this volleyball trip, like it's cool. Like, can I listen to some of your music? Yeah, that's cool. Like, all right, I'm going to listen to my music. Like, that's fine too. Like, you have your own music. Like, it's just fun. Like, I don't know. It's just, there's just something special about that dad and daughter relationship that it's just different than even with my boys. Like, most of the time they're trying to hurt me.
Yeah, they're trying to prove dominance.
Yeah. And they're like, I want to pee all over this place. I'm going to punch you in the face.
I'm going to pee in the car.
Yeah.
Into a cup.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to deal with the refuse.
Right. And I'm like, you know what? That's pretty badass that you're doing that.
But also,
please don't do that.
So gross, dude.
But
what are you doing?
I don't have to worry about that with Addison.
So. who as this is this is a very extended tips and bits, but who snuggled with you more when they were babies?
Addison. Yeah.
I believe
the boys were mommy's boys when they were little. Yeah. They still are. Dash, my youngest boy, still will randomly come in there and push me out of the bed and get with, snuggle with mom.
Yeah.
But it was me and Addison. I got pictures. April would always take pictures of us and stuff, and it was just always, it was me and Addison all the time.
That's how I am with Eden. I mean, like, even... again, like I spend so much time with her, but last night we were just watching TV before bed, and I was sitting on the love seat, and Eden just got up and snuggled with me and laid her head down on my belly and everything, and it just like it's an intimacy that we as dads don't have because we don't breastfeed.
Yeah.
Like it's a moment where we can actually like enjoy ourselves and not feel like we're providing, even though we are.
Right.
And I don't know. I want to have a boy. Like, I want our next kid to be a boy.
Famous last words.
I know. Here's the thing. I know it's going to be a girl.
It's going to get rowdy.
It's going to be a girl. Like, I've just kind of accepted that fact.
I will say, I'm not taking Addison to watch Jackass like I did the boys.
Well, I mean, true. But I just, like, if my only relationship with my children is dad and daughter,
yeah,
I'll get over that desire to have a boy. Things have been so good with us, yep. And I don't have any problem with the way things are. But I wouldn't. I mean, it's my kids. I wouldn't have a problem with it regardless.
Right.
But given the particular situation that I'm in, I don't know. As much like stress and anxiety as there is over like, making money and trying to provide, like it's just nice. Like they don't know.
No.
And I'm not trying to say like you shouldn't be upfront with your kids about particular things, because I do think that it's important to be honest with them when particular issues arise. But at this moment in time, I'm just happy.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's a very
you don't even have to explain it to
convivial
me.
Thing to say.
I get it.
But yeah. But anyway. Here's something weird. So we are separately, unfortunately, going to be seeing the new Batman movie.
Yes.
This coming weekend.
Yes.
So as I did with Spider-Man No Way Home, to get myself hyped up, I watched all those movies. I've been watching a bunch of Batman movies.
Oh, I watched a whole YouTube video of just like the highlights of all the Batman movies, because I've been having to work, so I was like, I gotta watch something.
Sure, yeah.
We have the same mindset when it comes to this stuff.
Well,
so.
the Weekly Planet did a ranking of the best Batman movies, and they just got done with their incredible retrospective on the Dark Knight trilogy. I'm so disappointed that you never went and watched the first one when I told you to.
What?
The one that was initially branded as the Batman Begins Caravan
And
of
it
Garbage.
was- yeah.
And it was Twilight, the first.
Well, I listened to it.
You never told me. You never
I
reacted
listened to it immediately after that. But
You never said anything.
We're busy people.
You could have texted me.
I texted you about something else. I know I did.
Well, you
Dragon Ball
texted
Z
me-
or something.
You texted me about Breaking Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
Because dude, the two of those videos together are excellent.
Oh, my
They're
God.
so good.
It's amazing.
Anyway, but I went back and okay, I'm gonna get myself into trouble here
Do it.
by
Get in
saying
trouble.
this. I can rewatch Batman v Superman more than I can Man of Steel.
Oh, I'm not gonna disagree with that at all.
It's just
The more I look into and watch Batman v Superman, I like it more than Man of Steel. Okay. I mean, I will 100% agree with you.
I just overall the characterization of Superman is not great. He's so doom and gloomy. And then once they jump into I mean, like, I don't even understand why within this universe they like why they even like Superman. You know, he destroyed Metropolis.
Oh, yeah.
And then they build a monument to him.
And then he comes back and just messes up everybody.
But like, they're talking about him like he was this savior. But if you look at the way that he was raised in Man of Steel to be basically removed from humanity, that is so contradictory to the way that he then is received by everybody. So we lose this element, and I think that Zack Snyder's Justice League is an improvement upon the Joss Whedon cut, but that's a conversation for a different time. But it still is like you are losing the message of what you think Superman actually means within this universe.
I think it's because you don't get to see that as much. It's almost like you
that's the thing. It's tell, don't show, as opposed to show, don't tell.
Right. So if you just watch the movies and all this, you'll be like, he's not done enough to make people respect him. But
Also, hold on. Let's talk about Batman v Superman for a second, just in terms of like why they're going after Superman. So you're telling me that they think that Superman shot people, and that's why he's gonna be maligned by the public? When has he ever used a gun?
his eyes are guns, okay?
It's Superman.
He shoots frost bullets
Such a load
with
of
his
crap.
breath.
Frost bullet with his breath. It's just so stupid. It's so dumb.
It's not good.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. But like, I like the characterization of Batman throughout that more than I do in most other interpretations, because he's probably the closest to being a comic book representation of Batman. But that movie in and of itself is so broken. And that's nothing new. I'm not saying anything new 6 years after that movie came out. But it's tough. It is a tough watch.
It is.
That being said, the extended version is way better than the actual
Yeah, I was
theatrical
about
cut.
to say, please watch the extended version.
I actually watched Joss Whedon's Justice League yesterday, but I watched it with the Weekly Planet commentary,
Okay.
which is the only thing that makes that bearable. I started again, and it's been out for about a year, but the Zack Snyder's Justice League. But I'm watching it in black and white in the Justice is Gray version on HBO Max, and It's not as good.
I was going to say, is it worth it?
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. It's really muddy, and it doesn't make as much sense in black and white as it does with color. It totally loses. Like, I haven't even gotten to the part where, spoilers, Superman comes back.
His black suit, and he doesn't have long hair.
But I can't imagine that it looks any different or different enough in the Justice's Gray version where he's, wearing the black and white suit as opposed to the original cut where he is actually in the red and blue.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be that different.
Yeah.
But
I wish I gave him a mullet. That's all I wanted. Just like in the comics. Yeah.
I also started the Dark Knight trilogy again.
Oh.
Because,
dude, I love
so good.
Batman Begins.
It's such a great movie.
I'm not a big fan of 3. I think 2 is one of the most solid ones, but there's something special about Batman Begins. I really like it.
I think it might be, and this is without having seen the Batman right now, the best Batman movie. Just as like a standalone Batman film, like understanding who he is and what he does and why he does the things that he does. It's just the best form of like introducing you to that character. Also, I meant to bring this up top, but I was in what is essentially round 0.5 of Matt Madness 2022, where I don't want to spoil too much, but none of us moved on to the second round, even though it was billed as the first round.
It's a do-over.
It's not Matt's fault.
Did you get them?
I did.
Okay.
Yes. Did he actually tell you all 4 of the things that I have?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it was just the thing that he was like, "Hey, do you have the tequila barrel?"
He sent me one, and then at the end, when I was watching it live, I was wondering if he really even had that, or if he was just keeping the thing going along.
I don't think he has it.
So, yeah, dude, I was racking my brain. I was almost about to text Chad, not Total Wine Chad. It's Bourbon Not Chad, and be like, "Do you have this? Because I'm trying to help right now." I almost did, and then I was talking to Porter. He was like, "No, like don't worry about it."
He had to have been laughing his head off at me because I was so serious about it, and I was like, I've got to compete for real,
right?
And I got to be in it, and I got to do this. I didn't want to get short. I mean, I didn't know that everybody else got shortchanged.
Yeah,
but like, I just wanted to prove myself.
The biggest twist of Matt Madness so far in its 2-year thing.
It's the first round of this year.
So good. You have to watch it if you're listening.
It's like watching the NCAA tournament. And after the first round, like everybody's played through the first bracket.
And they're like, all right, we're going to switch it up
wait,
again.
Hold on. Actually, we painted a bunch of volleyballs, like basketballs. And we have to redo this.
Yeah. So good.
I love you, Matt.
So good.
Anyway.
There's just one point at the end of that when he just starts laughing when Perry makes a guess and then Clifton says something and it's just everybody...
Oh, it was Clifton saying that he quits.
Yeah, Clifton said he quit. Perry basically guessed it on the head.
On the nose what it was.
Matt starts laughing, and it's just, I started laughing. I was sitting in my living room, like sitting on the couch with my iPad watching, and I just started laughing, and like, it's just hilarious. Like, especially when you know all the details behind it.
It's good stuff. Good. It's good stuff. Anyway. Oh, that does it for this week. We went we went a little longer than I expected us to, but we started talking about being dads.
Yeah, we did. So that's what happens.
That's how it is. Eric, take us home. Let the people know where they can find us and all our stuff and how they can support the things that we do all across the board. Go.
I think Patreon is the best way to support the show.
It actually is.
www.patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. For as little as $1 a month, you can support it. And at $5, you get all the extra stuff. You get the special bonus episodes, the uncut episodes, and anything else we decide to put out there. If you want to send a question, comment, or if you want to send a sample or a pairing or something for us to do, you can send an email to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. Got some merch at bourbonshop.threadless.com. If you want some Whiskey Mutant merch, it's whiskeymutant.myshopify.com. If you want to leave a voicemail where you send us a message with your voice and we reply to it on here, we'll play it, talk about it, and make fun of you if you didn't do anything cool. 859-428-8253. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it's My Bourbon Pod. We have a Facebook group on Facebook. This is My Bourbon Podcast Facebook group. Join there, answer a few questions, and you can get in on all the questions, memes, and anything else we're talking about. YouTube, this is My Bourbon Podcast on YouTube. Perry goes live every Thursday. I join him about once a month.
You're actually going to be joining me next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Well,
this Thursday.
The day after this episode comes out.
Tomorrow, I will be on there. Perry's going to do a little bit more Madness training. I got something a little different I'm going to do this time.
Okay.
So just letting you know. I have a YouTube, Whiskey Mutant. It's not that name. It's like -ASTR or something like that. I don't have 100 subscribers yet, but if you subscribe, maybe one day I'll be able to change my name.
So subscribe
to YouTube, search Whiskey Mutant, and you can follow me on Instagram at Whiskey Mutant. I'm on TikTok as well. You can follow Perry on his personal stuff, PRitter1792. Slide into those DMs. He'll be sure to look at them or not. And if you want to leave it,
I'll look at them.
I think sometimes when you get a notification and you see who sent it or what it might be, I mean, even me, I don't look at some stuff.
I wait. I mean, like if I don't jump on it immediately because
that's what she said. If you want to leave a 5-star review, just do it.
To the ceiling before.
Apple Podcast, Spotify, leave a review, whether it's good or bad. We'll read it on here. If it's good, we'll praise you. If it's not, we'll make fun of you and shit talk you.
But also, we have we have gotten a few positive ratings. I'm assuming positive ratings.
Okay.
We've had a few over the past couple of days, but no actual reviews. So you have to leave a review along with your rating for us to
just
see it.
We love you, or hi,
or give us the secret formula for the Krabby Patty.
Dude, I would love to do that for like a special content. Like I'm
Do you
making
think
the Krabby Patty right now.
Do you think it's actually beef?
I think it's Krabbies. Krabbies. I think it's Krabbies. Krabbies and beefies together. Krabby Patty is probably crab and beef in together in a patty form.
I would eat that.
I would too.
That sounds really good.
I'm gonna make that. Let's figure it out.
Okay.
And then honestly, just share or tell people about the show. Like,
yeah,
that's another way to do it, and you don't even have to click on anything. You can just look at your friend and say, "Hey, have you listened to This Is My Bourbon Podcast?" And then that person says, yes. And then you're like, oh,
or no.
Oh, shit. And then you look at your other friend and you go, have you listened to This Is My Bourbon Podcast? And they say no. And then you're like, okay, go listen. You just helped us. Easy as that. There you go.
Can't get any easier than that.
No.
Next week.
What is next week?
I don't know.
That's what's so fun about this.
Next week, actually, wait, no. 2 weeks from today is St. Patrick's Day. But next week, though, no idea.
Oh, I was going to say a little Whiskey Mutant plug. I just did a Taking Back Sundays with my buddy Barrel Proof Nerd on Instagram. He is not a turkey fan, so I sent him a turkey flight, which is pretty fun to watch, like to see if I can convince him to like turkey.
Oh, sweet.
And then as you're listening to this, I will have just done one with Burb Your Enthusiasm.
Sweet.
My buddy Frank.
Yeah.
Frank actually tried to be a rapper at once. And so he said he doesn't talk about that. So hopefully if you watch it, he talks about that a little bit more.
I can't wait for that.
And he loves crumble cookies. And we are going to pair crumble cookies.
Heck yes.
Yes. So on my Instagram, Whiskey Mutant, it's Taking Back Sundays. So.
All right. Well, that does it for this week. Thank you guys so much, as always, for listening. We appreciate the heck out of you.
Yes.
We will see you real soon. I enjoyed this episode so much.
It was so fun.
It was good. It was just
And
deep.
if you made it to this point and you listened to the whole thing, you're the real hero.
The
here.
real MVP.
Yes, the real MVP.
We're going to send you a trophy.
Yeah, send me a message to say I made it to this point.
Yeah.
I'm not going to send you an actual trophy, but
We'll send you something.
I'll at least reply to you and say thank you.
We'll send you an NFT of a trophy.
We got stickers.
We do have
I'll
stickers.
send you a sticker. If you message me on Whiskey Mutant and say, I made it to this point and listened, I will send you a sticker.
There we go. All right. Thank you all so much for listening. As always, we'll see you real soon. But until then, I'm Perry.
I'm Eric.
And this is My Bourbon Podcast.